context, since the 1960s, what we know is there was a significant redistribution of population from city centers into the urban periphery. This was due to the development of transport, communication, infrastructure, which enabled people to have a bigger distance between residence and workplace, and evidently also the diffusion of cars, which actually also increased the congestion effects in city centers, motivating people to moving out for looking for environmental amenities and also more spacious, so looking also for more spacious dwellings. This spatial extension of cities went into rural and cultural land. But more recently, since the turn of the new century, we observe a renewed attractiveness of central areas of agglomeration. Actually, after several decades of population decline in city centers, we observe for the first time renewed population growth. And this has been related this was actually only a short-lived period due to some kind of period effects, very specific effects that occurred around the year of 2000 with, for example, the regeneration of industrial brownfields, which led to new residential districts, but also with the boom in higher level education that attracted young people into cities, and also a boom in international migration. And we know that international migrants, at least at the beginning, they settle in central areas of cities where the jobs are located, and later on maybe move out. And also, people also postponed their life transitions more and more, having the first kid, marrying, and so on. This means that a young person moving into a city stays longer in the city centers before moving out for looking for better environmental amenities to raise up children. But interestingly, this trend was only short-lived, and in the last decade we observe renewed intensification of peri-urbanization. And again, the population as well as the built-up area now sprawl well beyond the official urban boundaries, again into cultural and agricultural land. And this can be mainly related to the gentrification of inner city areas in combination with soaring rental prices. Yeah, there are in both trends peri-urbanization, so the movement out into city areas, as well as the re-urbanization and the renewed peri-urbanization were rather selective. So the initial trends in peri-urbanization were mainly driven by middle and upper class families. And actually they left behind more disadvantaged population in the city centers. The re-urbanization process, so the move back to the city, was particularly driven to the youth. The re-urbanization process was particularly driven by the youth as they moved to the place of education, which are mainly in city centers, and also by highly skilled young professionals and by highly skilled international immigrants. More recently, however, the move back to peri-urbanization was mainly driven again by families, but also by the youth, and both of these population categories have been evicted from city centers by the soaring rental prices. Actually, in many countries like Switzerland, Germany, there's a high selectivity of people that can still afford living in the city center, and that is mainly young professionals, highly skilled professionals, most of them still without family, so they do not need necessarily a big apartment, and also international immigrants, which most of them are also highly skilled. I think among the most important consequences are certainly the environmental impacts. The extension of the built-up area means more commuting. Low density built-up area means more energy for heating, and all this increases greenhouse gas emission. Also, the extension of build-up area leads to more noise and air pollution. Also, impervious surfaces heat up much faster than natural surfaces. So these are generally referred to as heat island effects. And this has evidently an impact on population health and a negative impact on population health. And also the fact that we spend so much time commuting between the periphery and the city center means that we have less time for physical exercise, and this has also adverse consequences for our health. And last but not least, also biodiversity has been shown by several research that it is declining due to the extension of the cities into the cultural land. Then a second aspect, I think, which is important is also the fact that cities, inner cities, become more and more exclusionary, in the sense that disadvantaged population, but not only disadvantaged population, also the middle class cannot afford anymore to live in the city. So there is a decline in social mixing in the city centers, and this raises the question to people's right to the city.